That night, Charlie saw a woman standing in the shadows of her room, smiling, without eyes. A trail of ants crawled from Charlie's bed to the attic and she followed them. In the woods, a strange symbol was carved into the base of the pole, gleaming in the moonlight. Something scratched on the attic door above the bedroom. When Annie looked up, a small bird's head rolled out of the crawlspace. When Annie turned off the lights that night, she heard Charlie's clicking sound behind her. On the back of the photo, written in shaky ink, "Together, we correct the vessel." When Peter looked in the mirror, for a split second, Charlie's reflection stared back. Chapter 1. The obituary. Lon Lee was dead. Her obituary was clipped neatly in the kitchen. But Annie Graham couldn't stop staring at the line that read, "Survived by her daughter and grandchildren." That was all Ellen got for 78 years of secrets. At the funeral, Annie stood before the guests, strangers mostly, and described her mother as a very private woman. But her words were thin and cold. Not grief, not love, just duty. Charlie, Annie's 13-year-old daughter, sketched something grotesque in her notebook. A woman with her eyes sewn shut. Peter, her teenage son, kept his head low, earphones in. Back home, Annie wandered to her workbench. Her miniatures reflected every part of her life in chilling detail. And in one tiny room, she'd already recreated the funeral. Even in death, Ellen's presence felt enormous, like she had only vacated her body, not the house. Chapter 2. The whispering waltz. Charlie wasn't normal. She made clicking noises with her tongue, slept in the treehouse, even in winter, and kept dead birds under her bed like toys. "She wanted me to be a boy," Charlie muttered at dinner, out of nowhere. No one asked who she was, but they all knew. Peter tried to ignore her. School was his escaping, till he glanced out a classroom window and thought he saw his grandmother across the street, waving. Annie retreated deeper into her dioramas. She sculpted Ellen's room with uncanny precision, right down to the strange symbol carved into the floor beneath the bed. Steve, her husband, found dirt smeared near Ellen's grave. Someone had dug there. Chapter 3. The pulpiter just wanted to smoke weed and forget his family was imploding. When a party invite came, he lied to Annie and said it was a school event. Annie forced him to take Charlie. "You'll have fun," she said. Charlie stared at her blankly. "What if she doesn't want me to go?" Peter ignored her. At the party, Charlie ate chocolate cake without asking what was in it. Minutes later, her throat began to close. Panicked, Peter dragged her into the car and sped into the dark woods. Her breathing was frantic, then fading. She rolled down the window, gasping for air, and then crack her head struck a telephone pole. Silence. Peter drove home with her decapitated body still in the back seat. Chapter 4. Don't look. Peter couldn't move. He lay in bed all night. The morning sun cast shadows on the wall. He heard his mother walk past his door. Then the scream. Annie's wail was so deep, so guttural, it sounded inhuman. Charlie's funeral was empty. Annie didn't cry. She didn't eat. At night, she slept in the treehouse under a red heater's glow, hoping to dream of her daughter. Steve tried to hold the family together, but grief made them strangers. In the studio, Annie crafted a new miniature, Charlie's headless body in the back seat of Peter's car. Chapter 5. The Seance Woman. At a grief support group, Annie hesitated to speak, but then she admitted her mother had suffered from DID, her father from starvation, a psychotic episode, and her brother's suicide, claiming their mother put voices in his head. That night, she met Joan, a friendly, grieving woman who offered tea and quiet understanding. "You can talk to her," Joan said gently. Annie recoiled. "Talk to who?" "Your daughter," Joan whispered. Joan showed her a strange ritual. A glass moved on its own. A candle lit without touch. A voice whispered. In the silence, "Grandma." Annie ran home in tears. But something had shifted. Chapter 6. The Book of the Dead Days. After Charlie's funeral, Annie's grief turned manic. She began sleepwalking again, waking up in cold sweat with paint on her hands. Her dioramas grew darker, more violent. She modeled Charlie's decapitation in tiny scale, with blood-red resin dripping from a toy body in a matchbox car. Steve walked in. He looked at the miniature. "What is wrong with you?" Annie couldn't answer. Instead, she wandered into Ellen's old room. It smelled like dust and rosewater. Inside a locked drawer, she found a book, Invocations of King Payman, Symbols, Latin Chants, Rituals. A photo fell out. Joan and Ellen together, smiling, wearing white robes. Chapter 7. He's watching. Peter couldn't sleep. He kept hearing scratching from the ceiling. In class, he saw a light flash across the window, like a camera bulb. There was no one there at lunch. He heard Charlie's tongue click behind him. He turned. No one, just Joan, across the street staring at him, smiling too wide. That night, Peter smoked to numb himself. As he exhaled in bed, he noticed someone standing in the corner of his room. A shadow. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It waited. He turned on the light. Chapter 8. The seance at home. Annie returned to Joan's apartment. Candles, incense, salt circles. Joan chanted in a whisper. A glass spun on its own. A thud echoed in the empty room. Annie heard a girl cry, "Charlie?" Joan handed her a sheet of words. "You must do it, but only if your whole family is present." At home, Annie set the candles, called Steve and Peter. She warned them, "Please, don't be scared." They mocked her at first, until the candle burst to life. Peter screamed when the glass moved. Annie spoke in tongues. Her voice dropped guttural, like Charlie was using her body. Steve doused the candle. The room went cold. Chapter 9. The attic. The next morning, Peter refused to speak. Annie begged him to understand. "She's here, with us." He wouldn't look at her. Meanwhile, Steve found a rancid smell creeping through the house. It was strongest in the attic. He climbed the ladder. Bats flew out. Inside, flies, rotten meat. And in the center, Ellen's headless corpse, curled in a praying position, surrounded by candles. The walls were covered in a symbol, 3 arrows spiraling around a crown. Steve staggered back in horror. Annie stood below, watching him silently. "You weren't supposed to see that yet," she whispered. Chapter 10. Burned the book. Annie became obsessed with the sketchbook Charlie left behind. It drew on its own. New, disturbing images appeared daily. Peter with bleeding eyes, Steve on fire, Annie levitating. She tried to destroy it, but as she held it over the flame, her arm caught fire. She dropped the book. Her skin returned to normal. An idea struck her. "If I burn it, maybe I die. Maybe it'll stop this." She sobbed as she prepared to sacrifice herself. Steve screamed at her. "You need help," she pleaded with him. "Please, burn it." "I can't." Reluctantly, Steve threw the book into the fireplace. Flames erupted not from the book but from Steve's body. He screamed as fire consumed him. From inside out. Chapter 11. The sound beneath. Peter jolted awake to the sound of scratching beneath the floorboards. The house groaned, as if something ancient was shifting beneath it. He followed the noise to the hallway, where the hatch to the basement creaked open on its own. Shaking, he called out, "Mom." No answer, just the sound of something crawling, dragging. Downstairs, Annie stood in the corner of the kitchen, rocking slightly. Her eyes rolled back. "Peter, ... she whispered. "It won't let go." Chapter 12. Joan returns. Peter skipped school. Every shadow now looked like a face. Every whisper sounded like Charlie. As he walked home, Joan appeared in the street, blocking his path. "Peter, open yourself. He's waiting for you. Get away from me. Don't be scared. You're the chosen one." Charlie was just the start. Peter ran. Her laughter followed him down the block. That night, Joan's voice echoed from the attic. chanting Latin words, ancient syllables, repeating his name. Chapter 13. The bloodline. Annie uncovered more photos. Her mother with strangers. Rituals under moonlight. Symbols etched into flesh. The truth hit hard. Charlie was meant to be a male host, but now the spirit sought a new vessel. Peter. Annie remembered her brother's suicide note. She's trying to put someone inside me. It wasn't madness. It was prophecy. She locked Peter in his room, desperate to protect him. Too late. Chapter 14. Breaking point. Peter screamed in his sleep. He thrashed wildly, as if fighting invisible chains. Annie burst into the room. He had clawed his face, eyes bloodshot and wide with terror. They're inside. They're inside me. She tried to hold him, but he recoiled. That night, Peter saw himself hanging from the ceiling in a dream, but when he woke up, it wasn't a dream. Chapter 15. Dead eyes. Annie hid in the treehouse, whispering to herself, clutching a candle. She tried to reach Charlie again. The flame flickered. Her hand trembled. I'm sorry. I didn't know. A cold wind blew through the wood. A voice answered back. It's okay now, Mommy. He's almost ready. Suddenly, all the candles went out, and standing at the base of the treehouse ladder Joan, her face pale, her eyes pure white. Moral of the story: unresolved trauma and blind inheritance can summon horrors far more dangerous than death itself.